Good afternoon, everyone. This is Beyond the Map. This is a new game that's out for early access on Steam as of August 25th. Came across this, it looked kind of interesting. As some of you may know, I'm kind of a fan of survival games, so I thought this looked good and I'd give it a try and share my experiences with all of you. Let me know if this is something that you like. Um, Kind of interested to see how this works out. So the first thing, after installing the game, I have done absolutely nothing. So I'm going to go through the whole thing, from character creation to starting the game to hopefully some type of tutorial, and we'll move on from there. So what we're going to do is, let's see here, Arcane Portal. So there are three options, and apparently there's going to be a fourth option for the background somewhere down the line. Currently, the three options are Marine, Pirate, and Scholar. I have no idea what the fourth option is going to be. I haven't really looked at the community to see if there's any kind of roadmap or information yet. This is sort of a first blush, try it out and see if it's either awesome or it's so, as Marine, bound for active service, committed to safeguarding his cause. Troops are weapons are not dropped on death. Would last 50% longer. Sounds like a survival game. The second is Pirate, which is chasing others across treasure. Path, two times stacks of inventory. And eyes Scholar is behind game knowledge beyond the map. That's playing. Trades are troops less than 100% longer and discoveries granted in the series. Now, I usually play the erudite intellectual type, so that's probably where I'll go. Hopefully, there's magic in the game. Some of the video that I saw did kind of indicate that was the case. So, like I said, this watch a couple of minutes of the video just to go, oh yeah, that looks like something might be interesting. So it looks like each class, we're going to call them classes, gets an ability. So Marine gets Rally and Banner, thrown out of Banner, reduces damage taken by you and your allies, and restores 3% of missing health every second for 10 seconds. Pirate gets Grab and Run, which increases movement speed by 50% for 10 seconds for you and all nearby allies, and the cooldown is reduced by 5 seconds every time you loot an item. The Scholar gets Arcane Portal, again, sounds like a magic, creates an unstable arcane portal that exists for 5 minutes, allows teleportation to any other active portals in the current world. I'm guessing that once we build a base, we'll be able to create our own portal. And bear in mind, this is all speculation at the moment because I have done absolutely nothing. So we're going to start with Scholar and work our way from there. I'm just going to go ahead and I don't know why the male models are those ugly, but whatever. I'm going to go with my standard naming convention for now. Love the hair. That one looks reasonably defensive. So we'll go with that. So level 1 Scholar. Looks like you can make multiple characters. I don't know if there's a limit. It doesn't have any indication that there is. But for now, we're going to go with what the options. Looks like a pretty standard options set. I don't see anything jumps out at me. So this way I can actually hear myself think. Okay. I'm not a huge fan of background music, so I think we're going to turn that down. I don't want to turn it off completely because, you know, sometimes background music can be advantageous. A change in background music can indicate to you that something's going to happen or that something is happening. So it's never a good idea to shut it off completely. But let's go ahead and turn it down to a little more, what I consider to be a more reasonable level. Looks like there are several different language options, including Korean, Japanese, looks like Chinese, um, Spanish, Russian, Portuguese, Polish, Italian, German, and English. I'm going to leave friendly fire off. Apparently, that is something that they just added. I did take a quick look at the patch notes. Apparently, they were having a problem with friendly fire, so I went ahead and I'm going to just leave that as is. I'm going to leave it off. So we'll go ahead and start the game and we'll see. Okay, so this is pretty much a standard for survival games, especially Valheim style survival games where it's procedurally generated, where you have a seed and you can name your own world. Let's see. Okay. So you have modifiers. This is kind of interesting. This is something I haven't seen before. The modifier, it has an advantage and a disadvantage. The disadvantage is when you die, you drop all of your equipment, but the advantage is all experience gained is increased by 30%. That's actually pretty cool. And then we have Moonlit Hunt, which is on clear nights, the undead rise to hunt you, which basically means you're going to be attacked at night by undead. But to counterbalance that, the advantage is construction cost is reduced by 30%. I'm going to leave everything at default for now, including the seed, um, and we'll see how that goes. One of the advantages of seeds, I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there who played these type of Valheim style or Minecraft style survival games before, is if somebody finds a really cool seed that has like interesting terrain, or maybe if there are vendors in the game, the vendor is in an advantageous spot. They can post that seed online, and um, I think I should have selected the other way. Let me see here. I'm going to use the keyboard for now. I like that better personally. There we go. Okay, so I need a bow and I need a pickaxe apparently. Let's take a look, see what we have here. Okay, so wood. This looks like more wood here. Oh, okay. These are chests. And it looks like all you have to do is run over to the item to pick it up from the chest. You click on the chest or you select E to break it, and then yeah, wooden crates, and then you run over the item to pick it up. So that's good, and we have those here at the bottom. So we have 2 minor mana potions and 2 minor healing potions. Okay, so tab brings up our inventory, and then we can get an idea of what we're dealing with here. So we have auto attack and auto ranged. Obviously, we have nothing in our inventory at the moment because we haven't actually done anything yet. So we'll go around, we'll pick up a few things. I imagine we're going to be making stone tools to start with. We'll try to stay away from the bad guys for now until we can get something set up here. So, okay. Let's see. H for crafting, it looks like, and you can see that here to create a weapon. Okay, so we have, looks like a pointy stick, which they're calling a wooden spear. Two-handed weapon, 10 damage per second. Okay, so we have the materials, we have the technology, we can rebuild him. Yeah, I know, I'm old. What do you want from me? Let's go ahead and make a stone lumbering axe, since it looks like we can also make that. And it looks like on the right we have the item here, and then on the right we have what we can do, what we can make. Okay, so the scroll bar, there's nothing to scroll yet, so I'm guessing that down the line
we will have the ability, we'll have more stuff that we can do. Oh, okay. So tools are automatically used when needed, which means they sit in your inventory, and when you get in front of something where you need it, it automatically does it. Okay, and if you hold down the button, it's E to interact, and if you hold down the button, then it basically just continues to do the action with whatever's closest. So we'll go ahead and we'll pick all this up because I'm sure it'll all be useful. Generally speaking, I'm sure for those of you who've played survival games before, you know this already. But generally speaking, you want to pick up everything, or at least initially you want to pick up everything until you have a much better idea of what you're dealing with. So let's see here. Let's go take a look at that guy up there. He was wandering around. I suppose we should get into our first encounter and see how this goes. Okay, there's two of them there. Let's give it a shot. Why not? Okay. Maybe not. There's like 5 there. Let's not piss off the locals right away. Now I do see there's a mini map up here. Okay, and it looks like the items on the mini map are things that you can interact with. I see a mushroom and I see a wolf. Let's grab the mushroom because I'm sure that later on that's going to become important. And let's give the wolf a try. Okay. Don't suppose we can make one. How do we... Okay. There's got to be a way for us to get recipes down the line. I don't see an experience bar. Let's click on details and see what we have there. Okay, experience 92 out of 100. So let's try something here. Let's go over to this mushroom and pick it up. Yes, okay. So basically, it looks like when you harvest things, I'm guessing that also means when you chop down trees and such, you get experience for that. You get a small amount of experience. It looks like 1. So that'll give us a better idea of what we're dealing with. And it looks like your hit points slowly regenerate back when you're not in a fight. Okay, there we go. So let's see what we have here. Now it says +1 skill point. Tab is inventory. So let's see if we can figure out how to access our skills. Here we go. C for skills, because that makes sense. Whatever. And it looks like that doesn't actually do anything, so that's not it. So we take a minute, we'll take a look and see what we have. Melee attack, ranged attack. Okay, I don't see anything in here that gives us an indication of where the skills are at. Maybe we don't, okay, I think I see. It looks like your attack power goes up and your spell, it looks like all 3 of your skills, with air quotes, go up when you attain a level. So I think that's what they mean by skills. I guess we'll find out. The first thing we need to do is probably go around and collect up a few things. I'm assuming that once we pick up something that triggers either a new that's part of a new item or something along those lines, that we'll get some kind of indication. Still need a skinning knife. Hey, Angfant, I see you out there. Just noticed. Thanks for popping in. I have not played this game before. Oh, okay. First death. Here we go. Lost 24 experience, and it says build a bed to change your revive points. So clearly that's what we need to do. Okay, after death, you step light. Enemies will only. Okay. So it reduces their perception when you die. So it's probably good that we died just so that we have some idea of what the mechanics look like as far as that goes. Drowned apprentice. Okay, so these are undead. This is a time it would be nice to have a ranged weapon so that we can pull them at range and not have to worry about getting a whole bunch of bad guys, but we'll see. Okay, so we'll zoom in on the map a little bit. Well, we didn't get very far before we died, but I suppose that's not exactly a big surprise. Most of these survival games have a pretty steep learning curve from the beginning. So the fact that we died right away, yeah, that's not a huge surprise. These games tend to be a bit unforgiving when it comes to things like that. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead. Oh, okay. I forgot. We did select the option that our stuff drops when we die, so we got to go back and retrieve our equipment. My fault. Sorry about that. I am going to still continue to pick up mushrooms because they look kind of interesting. And because we don't need a tool to pick those up, we can just basically bare hand them off the ground. Make sure to keep an eye on our hit points this time instead of just YOLOing it. Okay, so straight north. Never underestimate the usefulness of your mini-map. I believe that's our stuff right there. So let's go pick that up real quick. Oh, time to run. Okay, so they're using Diablo-style mechanics as far as the combat goes. And it looks like the cooldown is 30 seconds on the healing potions, so that's good to know for later on. That way we don't get ourselves in trouble. All right. So we've got a few mushrooms. Now, if you guys are like me, inventory management is kind of a big deal. It's always good to keep things organized so you have a better idea of what you have. I think I want to go back. Let's see. Let's go this way and take a look and see what we can see. Our hit points are going back up pretty steadily, which is good because we get ourselves in trouble otherwise. And these boars hit pretty hard. I'm kind of avoiding the boars, not because they're difficult, even though they are, but more because I want to be able to. Okay, so the spear's got reach. That's good to know. The reason I'm avoiding the boars is because looks like you can skin the boars, but unfortunately, we don't have the recipe for a skinning knife yet. So it kind of seems like a waste of resources to not be able to skin them. Okay, so we got an old soldier's badge. That's kind of interesting. Let's take a look at what that is. Huh. All right. So we right click and we learn a new skill. And of course, like an idiot, I didn't even bother to look at what it was. Okay. Ah, okay. So we now have a skill tree. There's our new skill that we just picked up. So let's give that a try. Okay, so it looks like it's an AoE melee attack for multiple targets. So we'll keep picking up linen cloth and work our way up and hopefully find recipes. Uh-oh. Time to go. Fortunately, arrows move slow enough that we can dodge them if we're quick enough. We weren't quick enough that time. And it looks like your hit points don't recover during combat. So let's get far enough away. They do recover slowly. Okay, I stand corrected. Ah, I see. You get far enough away and they reset. Sorry about the running commentary, guys. I'm learning this brand new from scratch myself, so if it seems like I'm stating the obvious, just bear with me. Let's, I wonder if we can rest. Okay. Ah, okay, so we can build ourselves a campfire. That's interesting. So we're just going to set it down right here, and let's take a look and see if we can... Okay, it looks like when you're rested, your hit points go up much faster, so that's good to know. And we now have one piece of food in our inventory from our boar friend there. Soup ingredients. Okay, so it looks like the items have a tag on them that indicate to you what you can do with them. So it looks like you could make probably mushroom soup or some kind of soup based on what the tag says. I'm not sure how, because I know I had 2 potions and I didn't think I used both of them, but apparently I did. So I don't know if I accidentally hit it or if I used it and just didn't realize it. All right, so let's see if we can get one of these guys' attention. Now, see, apparently they're pretty social. So let's get out of the way here. This guy with the bow, I want to pull him far enough back so that we can hopefully get around this guy. There we go. Grab that. Hey, that's not fair. Ah, an interesting strategy comes to mind. Wait until he decides to start attacking the campfire, and then sneaky him from behind. There we go. Okay, so we did manage to get ourselves a healing potion, so that's good. Plus 20 intellect. Well, we don't have any spells or anything right now, so that doesn't really help us much, but let's see here. Ah, okay. So it looks like from that archer we did manage to pick up another skill. Page 17 of the Marines manual, which is aimed shot. Obviously you need a bow for that. I don't have a bow yet, but I am going to use that anyways, because I got a sneaking suspicion that that's something that's going to be handy later on. And let's go back up here and pick up the stuff that the other guys found that we managed to kill him. Okay, so we have a ranged class, a caster, and melee. was my fault. Okay, so let's use our healing potion. Fortune favors the bold, apparently. Okay. Charred Scroll of the Ember Mage. All right. Now we're getting somewhere. I don't know about you guys, but I'm more of a caster type. I like being able to use magic. I mean, what is the point of playing a game that has magic in it if you're not going to actually use magic? So we'll throw that one in there. I'm not sure what the connections mean exactly. I suppose we'll have to figure that out as we go along. But for now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to group them up by melee here, magic, and then ranged here. And we'll see how that goes. Let's see how our... The spell's a little weak. Weapons are still better, but I'm not complaining. You got to start somewhere. You get another one? Yes, we did. Awesome. So now that... okay, I think I'm starting to understand here. First of all, we did manage to pick up a set of breaches, which I hadn't noticed until now. One of the undead that we killed must have dropped those. And it looks like we get a little bit of health on kill, a little bit extra damage on the first hit, and then agility and stamina. So we'll see how those go. But so far, oh, company. We'll just let him drop dead on his own. Maybe not. Okay. Apparently the fire effect doesn't last long enough to really be that effective just yet. I imagine that as we get farther in the game, that'll change. All right, so we have 3 abilities here. We have melee attack power, we have ranged attack, and we have spell power. I'm going to guess that based on your stats, those numbers go up. As a matter of fact, let's test that theory now. If we eat that, that brings our intellect up to 20, which increases spell power by 20%. So yes, it did go up. And it also increases maximum mana and mana per second by 20% as well. And that's this little round, the blue one over here on the right. I'm going to guess that these numbers probably go up as you use the skills based on what they are. So we'll have to kill a few things, and then we'll see how that goes. And apparently we can rapid fire pretty well. It does eat up mana pretty quickly. It looks like we get about 8 fireballs before we effectively run out of mana. But that's not bad, considering it takes, it seems, about 4 to take them out. And we do have mana potions, which we haven't utilized yet. We can use the run and gun technique. Okay, and it looks like your mana recovers pretty slowly, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to use one of our mana potions here, since we have a whole bunch of these guys on us. Okay, I might have bitten off more than I could chew. We'll see how it goes. Now I'm hoping that since our mana runs out relatively quickly, theirs does too. Okay, so apparently that sweeping attack does a pretty decent amount of damage. We did take some damage there, so we'll have to deal with that. And the cooldown on that is not too bad, so it's definitely useful. All right. And it looks like hit points and mana both recover pretty quickly when we're at the campfire. So that's good information to have as well. So we'll give it a minute here. We'll recover some of our mana. We'll do a little bit of inventory management while we're waiting. Resin. Okay. I want to try using a few more spells and see if this number goes up. We're at 24, 14, 16. There's one of two possibilities here. Either it goes up based on level, or it goes up based on using the skill, or it could be a combination of both. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so it looks like what we need to do here is we need to build a workbench. I think that will probably speed things along a bit. So let's give it a try and see what happens. We'll zoom in a little. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think I'm starting to understand how this works. So there's our primitive bow. We do have some bones, so we can make ourselves a pickaxe. Make ourselves a skinning knife. And just because we can, we'll go ahead and make ourselves a bone lumber axe, assuming that it is slightly better than what we have currently. Stones are relatively easy to come by, so we'll make ourselves some arrows. And, okay, and since we picked up linen cloth, it looks like that makes the rag armor. So we know that we already have pants. So we'll make ourselves some foot wraps, and we'll make ourselves a tunic, and then we'll take a look and see what those look like. All right. So the tunic, a little bit of crit chance, and 9 armor, which isn't awful. At least I'm assuming it's not. We get a little bit of movement speed. That's awesome. Just your basic bow, and I did make some arrows as well. I made some flint head arrows because they seem to be better than the wooden arrows. And it looks like these numbers adjust based on your equipment. So they may not automatically change at all. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Going on the assumption that it will use the best quality tool that you have in your inventory. We'll test that theory here shortly. All right, let's zoom out a bit. What do we have? Wet. Lovely, because it's raining. Go figure. All right, so it looks like the bone stuff is decent. So let's go ahead and pick a fight here. Looks like we got their attention. You can play that game. Okay. I don't really want to get into a mix with like half a dozen of these guys. At least not yet. So for now, we'll just kind of work our way through them. They don't move very fast. I mean, being undead. That's kind of the trope for undead, isn't it? That they're slow moving and not intelligent. At least things like zombies. We're going to have to take some damage no matter what. Now, here's an interesting thing. I may not have been deep enough, but when we were in the water over here, I didn't get a wet debuff. But now I get a wet debuff from the rain. So little inconsistencies, but that's not totally unexpected. I mean, this game is early access, so I'm sure they haven't worked all the specifics out yet. Okay, there's the caster. We'll take them out first. Always take the range guys out first. Ah, and it does do, looks like damage in a cone. So we can hit more than one bad guy at a time with that sweeping strike, which the name would indicate that you could, but it's always good to verify. Okay, I see a bigger crate over there. Let's see if we can't sneak our way in and grab that. Okay. This guy's level 3, so we have to be a little bit more cautious. I didn't notice that until just now. I guess we know where the rum's gone. Be a little strategic and try not to get hit if we can help it. All right. Get that one off. And apparently we need a key. So we'll kind of make note of where that chest is at, and hopefully we will find a key here somewhere down the line shortly. Looks like this is where you want to go, because this is where all the stuff is. Ah. We have to remember to use our special attacks, because apparently those do quite a bit of damage. Okay, wood. I'm guessing that's just a wood plank. Let's find out. Yeah. More crates. Let's open those up, because apparently that's where the good stuff is. Yeah, your hit points and your mana definitely regenerate slower when you're away from your camp, which, yeah, no shock. I mean, these are pretty standard game mechanics for most fantasy style games, as well as a lot of things that are survival based. So none of this is exactly a huge surprise. So go around, we'll open up some of these, whatever we can find, and you definitely move slower once you get into deeper water. So this is all pretty standard stuff. I mean, not bad, just expected. Ah, have you played this game yet? I see your message about level 15. Oh. I didn't see that guy until I was on top of him, but this will give us the opportunity to try out our skinning knife. Let's see what we get. Okay, so we have leather straps. So let's go back. We know basically where we are. We'll just follow the coastline. But let's go back and see what we can do here. Okay, it looks like, I don't know whether it was the level up or if it was getting something specific that triggered it, but it looks like we have a few more options in our crafting menu here. So we'll create the rag cape. That one, I got a sneaking suspicion that one had something to do with level, because it's just linen, so I can't see why they would wait to give that to you. That's the only thing I see that really jumps out at me. So for now, blunt resist. Okay, that'll help against the the zombies carrying the shields, and maybe the ones that are just basic. Won't really help against the guys with the bows. And let's see if we can add some fuel here. Ah, okay. Looks like you get an hour for each log, so we'll go ahead and max it out. And this particular grilled boar meat gives you stamina. Now we have rope, but I'm not sure what that's for yet. I didn't see anything that gave us any indication that that was useful, at least not yet. So we'll see how it goes. So far, the game's kind of interesting. It's a Diablo slash survival-esque type play so far. I mean, maybe it'll get better later, but for now, yeah, I don't really have any complaints. This game's actually only been out for about 6 days now, so I'm sure that things will change. This is an early access game. If you've ever played early access games before, you know that things change based on usually player feedback. And of course, they also take the time and fix any bugs that they find as well. Okay. Oop. And it looks like we have some objectives, which I did not notice before. So I think what we're going to do, let's go back and see if we can demolish what we've built and or preferably relocate it. Destroy, so X to destroy, right click to repair, and toggle roost. We'll get to that later once we actually build a structure. So I suppose for now, okay, so you do get your materials back. That's good to know. So let's go inland a little bit. I see an anchor down there. I want to take a look and see what that's all about. Yeah, down the coast. I'm assuming that there's a ship down there. Let's get out of the build menu. Okay. Looks like we should have gone south instead of north, but lesson learned, I suppose. More mushrooms, because apparently I'm a freak for mushrooms. Oh! Okay, apparently I wasn't paying close enough attention to my hit points. Should have known better. And I lost 50 experience. So now we get to go get our stuff. Well, I guess that's not a big surprise. Okay, now I understand. The anchor was actually our spawn point. Well, I guess the surest way to learn something is the hard way. Gotta get around this guy with the bow. There we go. Ah, good to know. Thanks. What do you mean rain stops the fire? Can the mob set your house on fire or something? Or does it just shorten the range of like fire spells? Okay. kind of do random stuff here until we come across something useful. I suppose what we really need to do is think about building a house. Let's take a look at where we are in the map. I think I want to build one down here in this general area. So we're going to kind of work our way down that way and see what we can find. The undead are obviously on the coast, and it looks like there are wild animals in the area here. Ah, okay. Ore. And gems, apparently. So let's take a couple of minutes. Let's get ourselves some copper ore to start with. Partly because it also gets us a few levels as well. Now I'm holding down the E button, which is apparently the action button, and it's automatically picking the stuff up if I'm close enough to it. And it's also, okay, I thought there was another node there. If you hold down the button, it'll continue to harvest the node. In this particular case, copper. And this looks like it might be iron or tin. Now that was our last arrow, but we can make more. Okay, why is everybody attacking me now? What in the hell is that all about? All right, let's go back and get what we didn't manage to pick up. So yes, it was tin. For those of us geeks out there who have been to apparently one too many Ren fairs, copper and tin make bronze. So that's why I assumed it was probably tin. Because as you may or may not know, the Bronze Age came before the Iron Age. I mean, so logically speaking, that would be the next progressive step beyond copper. All right, we're gonna, now that we've picked those up, let's take a look at the mini map and see where we're at. All right, I think this area is kind of rocky, so I'm not sure I want to build a house here. Looks like somebody's building something here. Let's take a look and see what we're dealing with. Okay. Now what I don't see is I don't see an encumbrance, but I do see a limited inventory. Yeah. So I'm assuming that once you fill up your inventory, then you're going to either have to drop something or craft something to use up what you have. We'll try going across here. I see something there. What are these? Lily pads. Okay. So I'm assuming that once you fill up your inventory that you, and there may be bags somewhere along the way, I don't know. But I'm assuming once you fill up your inventory that you either have to, you basically have to make space. So you have to play inventory Tetris. All right, I think this is probably a good place to start. So we're going to start building here. We'll make ourselves a little fire over here. Yep. Definitely have to worry about shelter. Okay. Yeah, that's a Valheim thing. You find half-built buildings or old abandoned buildings. You build a workbench and you can tear down the old one. So that makes perfect sense for those of us that have played other survival games. Okay, apparently they need to work on the Z-axis. Ow. Let's let this guy come to us. So I think I will go back up to that abandoned camp and demolish it, assuming I can remember where it's at. There it is. So we craft our workbench, and then we start taking things apart. I'm just going to demolish everything, and then I'll pick everything up once it's done. All right. Fortunately, all you have to do is run over the stuff to pick it up. Okay, I think that's it. So we'll go ahead and demolish our workbench, pick up our pieces, and then head back down to where our base is going to be at. Yeah, this whole thing with the dotted line, that's kind of a Valheim thing. Let's see here. Wood structures. There we go. We'll just build ourselves a basic house to start with. I think we're going to go 4x4. Okay, can't chop that down with that axe, apparently. Yeah, and again, feathers in the trees, that's a Valheim thing as well. I'm not really complaining. I just find it interesting, and it looks like the tree falling over actually took out one of the floors. So we'll have to be cautious about that as well. All right. We'll build ourselves some walls. How do we rotate? Let's see here. Ah, Q and R. Got it. More materials again. Okay. Most of this is pretty standard stuff for survival games, one form or another. Yeah, duly noted. That's another thing. Really sucked when I played Valheim. How many times the tree would fall the wrong direction, and I'd end up having to run back and get my stuff. That was always kind of annoying about the game. So fortunately, it seems the tree doesn't generally fall in your direction very often. At least not so far. Not that I've noticed. But if it does, we'll dodge. Ah, okay. That's what I was looking for. How to rotate the camera. I'm glad I saw that. Okay. So, walls. There we go. I think we're going to put the door right there. Does seem that it infers inside and outside view for the walls, so that's good. Okay. We need a bronze bar for that, so obviously we need something else. Let's take a look. I'm assuming that there's a forge that we need to build, so we'll worry about that in a few minutes here. Make ourselves some more arrows, because I did run out of arrows and I still haven't gotten around to making those yet. Interesting. Must be out of parts again. All right, let's go chop some more trees. We'll work our way up to it. Oop. Let's not get crushed by the tree. That would be bad. So, since you're here, has a lot of people been playing this game? Because truthfully, I didn't even look. I just looked at the game, went, oh, this looks like it might be interesting. Let's give it a try. That was pretty much my entire decision-making process. Who was that popped in? Holtzfinger. Welcome. At the moment, we're building ourselves a house. That's pretty much as far as I've gotten, and I keep hitting the right click, trying to rotate, because every other game I play, that's how they do it. I gotta get used to that. Yeah, it looks like a few of these walls are wrong, but that's okay. We'll worry about style points later. Yep, definitely need to work on that. Yeah, see, there I go again with the right click. That's going to take some getting used to. All right, so we have our basic structure. Very basic, but basic. We'll move our fire to a better location. Water well, portal. Okay, so yeah, that looks like the that's our portal there. I had a feeling it was going to be something like that. Standing torch. All right. Crafting. Here we go. Yeah. Kiln, furnace, cauldron. Ah, cauldron. Okay. So I think we need to start with the kiln, and I think we're going to put it out here. Let's see. Ah, there's the opening. All right. We need more stone. Interesting. Apparently, whatever that is, it's too hard. Oh, that must be that tree. It's hard to tell because it's not easy to see. What is that? Okay, more wood. I think this is a decent choice for the area to start with. I suppose we'll have to wait and see how good the choice was. Oh, I see another crate. 2 rope. Apparently I'm going to have plenty of rope. All right. Everybody wants to attack me. Apparently I'm really just not very likable. Don't know what I did to make everybody mad, but it is what it is. See, if whatever it is in close proximity, it seems like sometimes, and I haven't exactly nailed down when it will and won't do it, but if you're close enough, it'll automatically pick up the stuff. But it doesn't always seem very consistent, at least not so far. All right, I think that'll do for a start. Let's see where we can go from here. We'll start with about 10. That's interesting. Ah, okay, different kind of wood, heavy logs. I think we'll hang on to those because they may be useful for something else later on. So I think it would be prudent to hang on to those at least for now. There we go. Copper, tin. Right. Tin and copper. Interesting. Okay, so it looks like one of them takes bars and the other one just takes the raw material. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's make some copper. Okay. Yeah, this is another Valheim thing. It kind of spits out the charcoal, which is okay. It's a good thing I turned the openings so that they're easy to access. Okay, why can I not pick up the charcoal now? Am I out of space? I am. Okay. I had a feeling that was gonna be what was gonna happen. So I think what we need to do is we need to figure out how to make a chest. Going on the assumption that that is a thing. Let's take a look. Let's go under furniture. No. Essentials. I bet it's under essentials. Stash. Okay. 10 slots. 40 slots. That one takes wood, copper bars. Okay. I think we're going to start. Let's see here. I don't know if I can. I think it was the charcoal I couldn't pick up. Yeah. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to make ourselves a chest to start with. We'll put it in this corner over here. And we'll start dumping stuff in it that we know we don't need right away. Okay, so it looks like right click, it moves it. So that's good to know. Okay. We'll start moving stuff into there. Looks like we've got some meat that we need to cook. Feathers, I'm assuming, makes higher level arrows later on. That'd be my guess. Now, are these better than the ones we have? Doesn't look like it. Attack speed. Wait, what does that say? Oh, first hit damage. Okay. They're not bad, but I think the ones we're wearing are actually a little bit better. So for now, they can go in the box. We'll need a well, but we can worry about that later. Add it to soup in a cauldron to increase its duration by 50%. Okay, that's something for later. I haven't used resin yet. And I think we're going to put one stack of heavy logs in there as well. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll go pick this stuff up. Didn't mean to do that, but I'll take it anyways. Makes sense. All right, I'm going to take a minute, take a quick break, and I'll be back in about a minute. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. A few things have to take priority. Unfortunately, bodily functions is one of them. Okay, so this acts a lot like Valheim and a lot of their mechanics, though truthfully, Valheim has a very steep learning curve. So I don't really. While it feels similar, it's definitely not the same. I'm not a big fan of Valheim simply because of the fact that the learning curve is so steep. Okay, rag. I did notice that some of the things can be repaired. It said something about repair, but unfortunately, bone tools cannot be repaired. And if we click here, let's see, where did I find that at? I think I found it in the inventory screen. Right, bone tools cannot be repaired. So it looks like you use them once, and once they're used up, that's it. Now, I haven't found a way to repair things yet, but I may not have the. I'm assuming that there's a tool for that I just haven't gotten yet. So let's go back into the build menu and let's take a look and see what we do have. Okay, there's the well that you were referring to earlier. Activates crafting stations that require it. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to go out and we're going to get ourselves some more wood, since we did use up the wood that we did manage to get making charcoal. And of course, we're going to need more charcoal. So we'll approach this intelligently and go from there. Ouch. Okay. Well, I wanted to try that, though that is not the way I intended to do it. So, lesson learned. And yes, I know you told me, but I thought I was out of the way, and apparently it just wasn't quite. I suppose we all have to learn the hard way. I don't see any kind of sprint mechanic, at least not yet, unless I'm missing something. There may be one, I just haven't seen it. And I never claimed to be any kind of super duper awesome gamer, so. So you notice that time when it went to the other one, it automatically picked up what I walked over the top of. So it seems you have to walk over the top of it, and if it's moving you to the next node to harvest at the time, then it just automatically picks it up. Let's try not to die from falling tree again. That was kind of dumb. Yeah, it looks like as it moved to the next thing to gather, that was when it picked up whatever I ran over. And it looks like you got to be pretty close to it for it to automatically do it. You almost have to be right on top of it. At least they make the trees visible as they start to fall. Thank goodness for small favors, I suppose. All right. So we've got ourselves some wood. So let's take a look and see what we can do here. We need a tin bar. And I think we're going to build ourselves a stash as well. And storage boxes. Okay, so you put the stash down, and then it looks like the storage boxes increase the capacity of the stash. Let's take a look here. We'll try to approach this logically as much as possible. I must have used up whatever bars I had, so go ahead and do 8 of those too. What I just did was I held down the shift and hit the create button, and it basically created the maximum number of items that I had materials for in my inventory. And I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to do some more charcoal as well. Seems like charcoal is going to be important. Okay. I want to just kind of get a few things out of my inventory here. seems like there's no decay timer on anything. So, you know, a lot of survival games, if you have raw meat in your inventory, eventually it rots. But it doesn't look like that's the case here. And it doesn't automatically stack everything, so it's a good idea to keep an eye on what's in your inventory because you can accidentally have several of the same item taking up space. Let's see if we can put a uh, campfire or some kind of cooking fire inside the building here. I did see something on the list. I believe it's under crafting. There we go. Tin cauldron. So let's go ahead. We out of materials? No. Okay, so okay. So it's got to be outside. That's fine. If that's the case, so be it. And we need a water well. So that is our next project. Essentials. There we go. And put the well just right around the corner. This way we can, we still have room to expand the house out this way and out this way a little bit. We can always move the workbench if we have to. Okay, that's good to know. So if we drink from the well, it increases our mana by 1% every second? Yeah. Okay. So let's do this. Let's go back in here. Let's grab our ingredients for soup. Right. Hey, that's not fair. The mobs don't stay where they are. They're apparently we definitely need to get him away from our building. Let's see if we can't lure him over this way a bit. I don't want to get too close to that bear. There we go. Okay. Yeah, we took a little bit of damage, so we'll take a minute, go around, we'll fix everything up. Maintenance is always a good thing. Not bad. Hopefully, once we get to building stone structures, they'll be a bit more resilient. Okay, back to what we were doing. I want to make some soup because it looks kind of interesting. I do want to save that. This is kind of an experiment to start with, so we'll experiment. Now, apparently the rest of our mushrooms are in our inventory already. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to move the rest of the stuff into here. All right, for now, as long as we have some empty inventory space, that's good enough. Okay, I see. Why not? Ah, okay. Health, mana. Oh, this is good. Okay. I like how this is set up. Stamina, strength. Can we double stack it? Yeah. Diminishing returns, but it is a cumulative effect. That's not bad. Yeah, I did see that. That once you build your stash, you build little containers that upgrade the stash, give you more slots. So I did notice that. But thank you for mentioning it, anyways. All right. Oh, I see. And it stays in your cook pot for 30 minutes. That's pretty cool. Okay. So, excuse me. So what we're going to do is we're going to save our ingredients, or at the very least, we're going to put them in a more easily accessible location once we're at base. See, these I already grilled, so we can't, I'm assuming, yeah, it just says consumable, so we can't use those, but that's fine. We'll put our basic resources underneath. Now, I don't know whether it will automatically take stuff out of the stash when we're building. I guess we'll have to find that out. It may. Some games do, some games don't. I suppose we'll find out for ourselves here shortly. And it does stack them too. It looks like they only stack 20. Looks like 20 in your inventory for logs. Yeah, but they will stack. Look, it did say something about overstacking when I brought it up, so that's not a huge surprise, but it's good to know. I wonder if we can just break those down or something along those lines. We'll have to figure that out. All right. This way our inventory is a bit more manageable. I understand everybody's got their own way of doing things, and you guys might not agree with the way I'm doing it, and that's fine. Yeah, I plan to. That's the next step. Building new tools. See, I don't see those here. All I see are flint and bone. So do I need to upgrade something? I don't know. I'll figure it out. I think I know what I need to do. I probably need to make a new crafting station. Packing table. Increases the maximum stack size in each stash slot. Ah, okay. Yeah, we're going to make one of those. Still keep trying to right click. And I think we're going to make a storage box just because we can. That way our stash size goes up. Okay, crafting. Back to what we were doing. Let's not get too ADHD here. I need a few things. First, I need a bed. There we go. So that way, when I die, I'll spawn back here instead. We're going to shove it back in the corner. Okay. Crafting. Need more wood. So, how does that work? Yeah, okay. It did take the materials out of the stash. So when I went to build, the materials came out of the stash and not out of my inventory. Or it looks like it actually looks like it'll do both. I'm still not crazy about having those outside because I'm assuming that other people can pick them up. But for right now, it's fine. And it looks like both of those made the same kind of bars. So even though it said alloy bronze and smelt bronze, they both make the same thing. Okay, so I need wood. Still getting used to the mechanics. There's still a few things that I keep going back to old habits. Sorry about the coughing. That should be enough to get us started anyways. All right, let's see where we are here. I wish we could tip the camera up and down as well. Okay. Anvil for crafting heavy armor and weapons. Tailoring table for light armor and cloaks. And a leatherworking table for bows and medium armor focused on agility and range damage. So we're going to make all of those. Because why not? Craftaholic. Always been a bit of a craftaholic. And a sharpening wheel. We need stone for that. Okay. Oh. Well, okay. We need to put on a roof. I suppose that makes sense. What do we need here? Wood. Okay. We're getting there. It's slow progress, but we're getting there. I suppose if I just went out and chopped a whole crap ton of trees, this would go faster. Or, well, I don't know. I suppose faster is another opinion. Okay. If it's going to automatically move to the next tree, I'm not going to complain. We'll get a few of these down. And try not to get killed by them again. Any lumberjack worth his salt knows if a tree's falling in the woods, don't stand in front of it. We'll grab ourselves some stone too, because I have company. Now that was easier than I expected. I expected that bear to be much more difficult than that. But whatever. All right. I like how the buff stays at the top of the screen to tell you when the buff runs out. Okay, I think that's good. I'm going to grab this stone right here, and then we'll go back and we'll build some stuff. We need to find ourselves a portal rune so we can actually make a portal. I think that's going to be important later on. Okay, let's finish building the roof. And let's not shoot arrows in random directions. There we go. First one's always the most difficult because the game's not exactly sure what it is you're trying to accomplish. You would think it would be obvious, but not so much. There we go. All right. Now let's zoom in. Ah, okay, the roof disappears. That's good. Okay. All right. So, let's see what we have. Ooh, tin wand. Let's see something. See, we have weapon slot. We have a range slot. I don't see a slot for a wand, so I'm going on the assumption that the wand takes the place of the wooden spear. That would not prevent me from making one, though. Spellblade, 7.5 and 3.75. Okay, so the Spellblade, I imagine, probably does more damage, but less spell power. I think I'm going to try the wand. I think I'll smelt some tin and try the wand. I'm more of the caster type personally, though right now, since I only have one ability, that's kind of limited at the moment, but still pretty cool. That's interesting. Okay. Ah, servings left one. Got it. All right. I see. So the buff from the soup lasts for 30 minutes, and it has a certain number of servings. Hello, Diana. I see your chat. Bear in mind, guys, that I'm playing the game and watching the chat on the other screen, so if I don't respond right away, I'm not ignoring you. A lot of times I just don't see it. So, please don't take offense. Still kind of new at this, so still kind of figuring out my way around. Okay, so we're going to make ourselves a tin wand because we have the azurite and we have the tin, so why not? Yeah, as I thought. Now the question is, okay, does it go in the range slot? It goes in the range slot. Okay. I had a feeling it was going to be something like that. I kind of assumed it would be the melee slot, but ooh, I just had a thought. What if we make a tin spell blade as well? Because we do have the malachite, and all we need are a couple more tin bars. Let's try a little experiment here. If it doesn't work out, there's not that much material to lose. I appreciate you popping in. Do we know each other? Just out of curiosity. Yes. Okay. So it looks like since this is a one-handed weapon, we can actually dual wield one-handed weapons. And the spell blade is a melee weapon as well as giving you spell power, and the wand is a ranged weapon, so you can actually use both. And it increased our attack, our spell power pretty substantially compared to our melee attack power. So that's good to know. So the question is, can we break down a gear that we don't need anymore? We'll have to see if we can't figure that out. Okay. Anyway, sorry, I'm leading off on a tangent. Bear with me. I want that. Mantle. Okay. We're going to try those two first, and then we'll see how things go. Obviously, that goes in the chest slot. And the mantle automatically went into that slot. So we need a hat and maybe a new pair of shoes. So let's make the hood. Oh, we can't make the hood. Don't have enough bones. But we can make the shoes. And it looks like they get random stats, which is not surprising. Okay. Savage. I'm assuming that that is ranged. Yes. Certainly looks that way. So it looks like the leatherworking table is mostly for ranged weapons like bows, though I do see spellbook in there too, which looks like an offhanded item, so we'll have to make one of those. But it looks like it's mostly bows and bow and arrow. The anvil is more for metal and melee combat, and it looks like tools as well. And then the tailoring table is more for caster and your basic stuff. Oh yeah, I need one of those. Okay, so we need bones. What's that on the... Is there something on the floor down there? Oh no, that's... Okay. Looks like either the that was interesting. Okay. Sorry, bear with me for a minute here. I'm trying to get my thoughts together. Oh, okay, so you get kind of a magic arrow effect from the wand. Attack with your ranged weapon for 100% damage. Interesting. So it's essentially a bow with no ammo. That's good to know. Sorry, guys. I'm kind of discovering this as I go along. Oh, company. So if I sound like I'm rambling a bit, I probably am. So far, it's going okay, I guess. I mean, I've got a couple of people that are in here watching, so I mean, that is the point of this whole thing, isn't it? All right, so we have a linen cloak. And we have the two-piece set. I believe we should have two pieces. Apprentice, three pieces, actually. And I may swap this out, too, even, because it's only level 3 armor anyways. That's interesting. Okay. So we'll go ahead and we'll drop a few things off. I want to keep this stuff for now. I'm assuming that we can break it down eventually. There may be like a recycling station or something, which is kind of what I'm looking for. That and more bones, of course. So I guess what we need to do is we need to go back to the coast because it looks like the bones are there. At least that's where I've found them so far. Oh, nice hit. And the wand doesn't seem to use any mana, so I imagine it probably wears out after a while. It probably takes damage. And another chest. Okay. Well, we got a few things to take care of here anyways. Another pepper, that's good. Okay, I thought those peppers were going to be rare, but so far, not so much. Certainly not complaining about that, because if those increase the effectiveness of any meal you create in your cooking pot by 20%, then yeah, can be added to soup in a cauldron to boost all effects by 20%. So that's only going to be a help. Okay. What I want are bones. Probably not a good idea to just stand still. Or run in a straight line. There we go. First two rules of ranged combat: don't stand still and don't run in a straight line. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Okay. So this is where we found the bones the last time. Let's see if maybe we get lucky and find more. I see something over here, I think. Yes. Awesome. So it seems that these giant rib cages, that's where we find the bones at. At least that seems to be the main source for now. I just don't. At least not yet. I may do that eventually. I'm still kind of new at this. I haven't done streaming before, so I'm still sort of figuring things out and trying to decide how I want to do things. I may eventually do that. I just haven't done it yet. Boy, the wolves really like me for some reason. I get anywhere even remotely close to them and they come after me. I mean, I guess I don't have to worry about running out of meat. Okay, so we did get ourselves some bones. So now we're going to head back to base. And apparently I was closer than I thought I was. And see what happens. Yeah, and see, when you have a roof, when you go in the building, the debuff from being wet slowly starts to go away. Okay. So what am I missing here? Looks like I'm missing a hood. I think the hood was what took the bones. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not too worried about the stats right now. This, from what I can tell, is kind of basic equipment. I'll worry about that later and try to optimize once I have more resources to work with. Sash. Okay. That's another item. And bracers. See, we need 10 for bracers. I don't think I have enough. Yeah, I think I'm out of 10. Okay, so we'll have to get some more tin. We'll have to find some more. It looks like the resources respawn after a while, because I'm pretty sure that was the same rib cage that I looted to start with. So we'll see how that goes. Upgraded to activate the set bonus. So how do we upgrade? Oh, there's an upgrade button. All right. Disenchanted. Okay. So that pretty much tells me what I need to know. I think there's probably more tools that I don't have yet. I definitely don't have a sharpening wheel. I think. Nah, we'll put the sharpening wheel inside. Why not? Have enough space. Over here by the bed. Nothing to sharpen. Okay. Even though I have this guy. Apparently those don't need to be sharpened. We already know bone tools can't be repaired. And neither can stone tools. Okay. This is starting to make a little more sense now. I'm guessing that you use the sharpening stone to repair tools that have been used. And yeah, see, we have more space now at the bottom. And if you notice, it says that stone tools and bone tools, which logically makes sense that they can't be sharpened. So those two things make sense to me. Okay. Tailoring, anvil. We don't have silver bars, so we can't make spell forges yet. Why not? Okay. I don't see. Well, let's take a look at what's here. Some of these, you have to read the descriptions because it's not readily apparent what it's useful for just by looking at it. Okay, let's take a look and see if maybe. Sorry. Still not used to that. That's going to take a while to get used to. Medium armor and bows can be upgraded there. Yeah, so it's light, medium, and heavy armor. Light, medium, heavy, and the same thing with the weapons too. Heavy armor and melee weapons. So apparently, oh, now that's interesting. Okay, so it grays out the ones that can't be upgraded in that particular spot. So it looks like the wand, and I need crystallized mana and azurite for that, but it looks like it can be upgraded there, along with the spell blade. And of course, we need crystallized mana for that too, which I have no idea how to disenchant yet. I would assume there would be a disenchanting station under the workstation. Maybe that's what the Spellforge is for. I'm wondering if that's what the Spellforge is for, and I just need to find silver. So I think we're going to go do a little exploring. I'm still not going to. I don't think I'm ever going to get used to not being able to adjust the angle of the camera. That's okay though. I'll manage. Since we need food, animals are always going to kind of be a priority. Yeah, the Z-axis is a little screwy. Nothing that can't be dealt with, though. See, It looks like that was probably where we found all that stone and metal at. So I think we're gonna go explore that again. Ah, okay. I see more. I see more stuff over here to harvest. I think this is tin again. Yeah. Okay, so that message that came up that said I can use a bite is because the buff ran out for the soup. At least I'm assuming that's what it is. Moss agate. Okay. So this was where we found, yeah, here's the copper ore again. Uh-oh. That went better than I expected. Kind of expected to get eaten. I do have quite a few healing potions now. I managed to pick a bunch of them up when killing all those undead, so might as well make use of them. Now I do notice that the sweeping strike can't be used. Yeah, see, it says requires a two-handed weapon. So I guess I should have read the tooltip on that, but that's fine. Okay. Glyph of Bear's Might. Interesting. It really doesn't give us much of a description that we can work with, but let's see what we have. I see it's progressive. Deal 20% more critical damage. Okay, so I think what we want to do is we want to associate it. Can we reset these? Ah, okay. I think we're going to put that one here because it looks like it affects the other ones, and hopefully it'll give us up to 20% chance on hit to increase the next crit chance of your basic attack. Okay. So it looks like where you place the skills determine how they benefit you. So we'll open a few of those up. Okay. I think I'm starting to understand how things work. You know, that kind of reminds me of Dungeon Siege. See what I mean? I couldn't even see him on the screen, and he attacked me. So apparently their aggro range is pretty large. See, there's one way over there. I'm not even going to worry about him right now. Another one. I did just get a glyph from him, so we'll take a look at that in a minute here. Okay. Glyph of Wolf's Frenzy. I don't know if there's a limit to the number of skills you can learn. Hitting an enemy with a basic attack grants 3% basic attack speed for 2 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. All right. I'm going to put that one here. Because if I'm not mistaken, that will affect Fireball, which I'm going to probably be using a lot. See, I would imagine that you would put the basic skills in the middle and then put the other skills that would help to increase their effectiveness around it. But it looks like you have the ability to reset those skills. So I'll worry about that later on once I get enough skills where it becomes an issue. For now, it's not really a problem yet. I'm sure it will be. I see a bunch of undead down there, so we're going to go down there and give them a proper welcome. Oh, there's a bunch of them. Killed that guy. There we go. Let's take this one out too, just because he's kind of in the way. There we go. Yeah, see? Okay. I see another chest. That's 3 chests now that I've seen, and still no keys. At least I don't think so. Boar's Tenacity. Okay. Let's take a look at that one. %5 passive bonus for 1 second after each cast, while channeling or on cooldown. Not exactly sure what that means, but we'll see. Okay. Again, to answer your question, Diana, still new at this. Still sorting things out. That's something, don't get me wrong, that is something that I have thought about and probably will do eventually. But right now, I haven't decided how far I'm going to go with this yet. So there's a whole bunch of things I haven't done yet simply because I'm not sure whether I'm going to continue with this or whether this is just sort of a let's give it a try, and nah, I don't think so. I probably will eventually if I continue to do this, but for the time being, it's not high on my list of priorities. Let's put it that way. Oh, I like that. The splash damage on the fireballs. And yes, I know it gives a better impression. And I have had a couple of people, well, I've had one person offer to help me out with that. But you know, as you probably know, these things aren't free, and I still haven't made a decision as to whether I'm going to pursue this or not. Miss me. Miss me again. Mature turtle. Okay, so we're starting to see mature coral pearl. Okay. Well, there's a few interesting things. Yeah, that melee weapon doesn't really do much damage. The spear actually did more damage. Yeah, I'm starting to see higher level creatures now. Okay. Oh, the turtle's on my ass too, apparently. You know, I should be using the fireball since it's got an AoE component. The mana bolts, or whatever you want to call them, they're good for single target, because they do a little bit more damage. But the fireballs are, what are they? Yeah, they actually do call it a fireball. They are better for grouped up mobs. And these guys aren't very bright, so grouping them up isn't too much of a problem. And we're out of space. What do we have here? Mask. I'm assuming that goes where the hood goes. I think we're going to drop the bow. We're going to pick up the bones because I think those are more important. Let's group them up. Ow. Get rid of that guy with the damn flamethrower. Nope. That was unintentional, but fortuitous at the same time. I accidentally hit the health potion, which is what I needed right at that particular moment. That guy's annoying. I need to get rid of him first. Of course, it would help if I could see. There we go. Okay. Ah, teleport rune. Okay. So I guess we know where those come from now. Okay, we can get rid of stone and it's not a problem. Okay, I think we need to go back and empty inventory because this is becoming a problem. I do want to take a look at something here, though. What is that? Ah, I know what that is. That's probably that flamethrower skill that the guy was using on us. fire damage, 100% fire. Yeah, definitely. Yep, that's definitely what he was using on us. So we're going to move that down here so that it's affected by these two. Actually, I think we're going to move it here. I think it would be better because this has a passive effect to it, the movement reduction and the attack speed. And I think that'll be affected by the connected skill here. So we'll see how that goes. All right. That's heavy armor. So what we really need is we still need silver. Let's see where we are here. Let's clear these off. All right. We are going to just ignore Mr. Bear over there and hope that he ignores us back and just head back towards the base. Still haven't found any silver, and if we want to make the spell forge, which I'm assuming is used to disenchant things, we need to find silver. Let's see what we have here. Tin. Okay. Now, since we're here, and since we have space for it, let's go ahead and clear it out. Gotta be careful not to get too ADD. Yeah, I know what you're referring to, Diana. I have actually run across a few people who want to help me with that. But like I said, most of those things aren't free. You know, the people people expect you to get paid for their effort. And so while it is something I'm considering it. I haven't done it yet. Believe me, you're not the first person to mention it. Well, at least if I accidentally right-click, which I seem to be doing a lot, I'm going to use that up. At least it doesn't use any arrows. Stack all. Okay, that's exactly what I thought it was going to do. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take the extra bits and pieces of armor and weapons that we find. We're going to stack them along the bottom row. I'm guessing that the ones that we made, the rag equipment, probably doesn't give us any benefit, but I don't know that for sure yet, so I'm going to hang on to them for the time being until I know for sure. Okay. A few tools, a few bits and pieces. We're going to put that gnarled bear claw next to the wolf claw that we got, or the wolf fang that we got, excuse me, because I'm assuming that those are related somehow. Our teleport runes. So now we can make a portal, which I think I'm going to do. Essentials, there we go. Yep. Okay. We're going to put it right out here. We'll put it just far enough away that, yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay. We'll put it just far enough away so that it doesn't interfere with the house. The house is pretty small for now. We'll expand later on. But for now, you know, I'm just trying to kind of get everything started. I need to figure out where silver is. What have we explored so far? See, I see another landmass over here on the left. So I think we're going to go over there and take a look. I don't know if we're going to be able to swim to it or how this exactly works. I think it's this one here. Oh, yeah. Okay. And this way we don't have to run back. We can just portal back. All these guys look pretty low level, so I don't think they're going to be too much of a problem. Interesting. Okay. I think I'm starting to understand now. Huh. Apparently the lines in between, you have to select those. So let's take a minute. Oh, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Not exactly sure how I ended up on top of that thing. Okay. I'm going to take a minute, find a safe spot or a safe-ish spot, and take another look at that. Okay. Fireball, incinerate. We don't need sweeping strike. We don't need aimed shot. We're going to put that one there. I think I'm starting to understand how this works. I don't know if we have to connect the passive skills or not. I guess we'll figure that out later. Okay, I guess that'll do for now. It doesn't really show any of the extra buffs on here as far as I can tell. You just sort of have to figure it out. Do you love that AoE? It's a huge difference. trying to see if any of these containers have anything I haven't already seen. I mean, I have a crap ton of rum already, so it's not like I need more. But if there's like a rare drop from one of these crates, that's why I keep opening them up. And the mana and health potions don't hurt either. Fortunately, they're pretty low levels, so their fireballs don't really do much damage to me now. Oh yeah, all kinds of good stuff. Nice. So it looks like standard progression. Green is the low-level enchanted stuff. Blue is kind of the mid-range. And then I imagine like gold or red is probably the high stuff. I guess we'll find out when we get there. I don't see... Oh, no, that's interesting. I don't see any... Okay, hang on. Let me see if I can figure out how to get to that. I guess I'm going to have to build something here to get up to it. I'll figure that part out. Throw up a workbench so we can actually build here. Heavy logs are never a bad thing. Structure. I need a set of stairs. We'll connect them to this one so we can get up there. He can hit me, but I can't hit him. That's some crap right there. Fortunately, he doesn't do much damage, so I could have been in some serious trouble there, but not so much. All right. Huh. Another bear claw, another wolf fang. Yeah, see, the mechanics is a little weird. Go, that should help. And then we'll tear this all down. And I'm taking all this stuff with me. Because it's basically a top scroller. The perspective can be a bit of a pain. And the fact that you can't tilt the camera. You're basically stuck at what looks like to be about a 45-degree angle. Okay, I think that's it for today, guys. Probably continue playing this a little bit, work on progression, and we'll talk to you later on. Have a good day.